Hello, phonemes, morphemes, and graphemes. How is everyone, and by everyone I mean, I think either cat or pretondium today? Let's see. Grammar as a continuation of the 5K celebratory weekend. We are now moving on to her. I suppose I should say we're returning to her. So let's see. So, grammar-wise, we brought the... Oh, what note did I leave myself? Yes, of course. Add more modal verbs, as always. Subordination. Coordination. Right, I suppose I should stop putting off this. Which, for some reason, just confuses me to no end. Warse. So the villagers had only just planted the crops the day before the raid happened. I think I see why that confuses me so much. Okay. So the relative clauses. So time before something happens. So the way this is structured, if I remember and I'm interpreting this correctly, is that it is event that happens marked as a relative. Let me use parentheses to marked as a relative plus war s. What is s there though? Is that before I had the time, or is that a was just only? They Warga. Oh, okay, I see. So Gao and then Gao is the day. Yeah. This is why you need to have good documentation, folks, because it will confuse you. It is a very deep and intricate lore, I am certain. So deep that it confuses me. Okay, so war. And I think instead of having it form a compound, it hyphens. War or yeah. That should be an O. Oo. War. War or oo. Plus time word. And then that can just be plopped anywhere into the sentence. So if we do, say, let's say I ate an apple for falling asleep. That should be a fairly simple sentence to do. Again, that should be an O. You, who, actually, for purposes of just clarity, I'm glad you can make it. Frostflake wait. Frostflake animation. Ah! Thought your name looked familiar. I saw my sister watching a video of yours a while ago. Huh, small world. Sleep, lie down. Okay, so we don't have a word for to sleep, unfortunately. But I can just make a word real quick. Do I have a word for long? No, I do not. Well, that goes my plan for creating a quick and easy word. Let's see. No, I shouldn't do a compound. I should make a new thing just for sleep. Run. 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 Well, I just saw my sister watching an Elsa animation. I was like, huh, fascinating. And for some reason, your name stuck in my head. To sleep. Actually, instead of monosyllabic, maybe that should be fa, 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 fa. There we go. To sleep. To go to bed. To go to bed. Let's see. So fa. Ooh, I just realized I should zoom in for you guys. There we go. Fa. Mar. Shoot. before falling asleep. There we go. War. Did we actually talk about... I don't know if we talked about how to actually say the time exactly. I'm just realizing that. Let's see. So I think it'd just be the number and then the... So 5 minutes would be falar. 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 Or falar. And then we can have the huya. Huya. Nya. Da. Eat. Da. Wait, nope, I messed this up. It's meant to be... Wait, Nope, this is right. There we go. Dangi. So, I suppose I should actually make that into a perfective. Dasangi. There we go. So 5 minutes before sleep, I apple ate. That seems pretty straightforward. Let me just sleep before 5 minute IVM apple PT eat is agent. There we go. And now we don't have to do it with the event happening before, after, before the entire sentence. We can, if we wanted to, I think. In this language, it would be good to have at least the ability for that to move around the sentence freely. So we can have it after the the topic, or we can have it maybe less regularly, but somewhat marked after the object as well. But yeah, that seems good. And then, while creating this, I realized I don't have just a word for before or after. I have war and u, which can work on their own. but I feel like I should have something accompanying them. Warser, Wagal. So maybe I add a word for. Do I have a word for time? Gaia. Ga. Ga. Gaha. Gaha. So, yeah. Gaha. If there is no. If it's just before or after, then we put. Instead of. We just put. If I can type. Ga. Ha. Gaha. That's creaky voice, isn't it? Yeah. So. Gaha. Gaha. There we go. That should be a Y, J. There we go. Advice for verbs? I wanted to make, but I have no idea for how to make verbs. Like, are you just struggling on what inflections you should have for your language? Like past, present, future, perfect, imperfect, modules, etc. Okay, let's see. Heading 2, relative clause. It's not relative clauses, that's something else. Technically it's a relative clause, but oh, I forgot the relative marker. Duh. Oh, it's all the way up here. That's where it is. Okay. So key. Put key here. Also, if anyone wants to see this, the folder is linked in the description. You can actually just see someone hopped in right now. So feel free to just hop in and check out what's going on. Gotta add the relative pronoun. There we go. Okay, so time relations. If an event happens before or after another, one places the event as a relative clause before war Oh, lovely. Okay, well, there we go. There we go. Or, okay, this is the problem with using quotations. I'll use these things instead. French quotations. So using awkwards is quite useful. However, I think it's only really useful when you already have an idea of what you want your language to look like. So usually before I even start making the phonology of a language, I will make a little like road plan of what I want the language to be like. That doesn't mean I don't just wing it every now and then. I think I actually did start winging it with Herng, but I have like a rough idea of I want to emulate a certain type of language in the real world, or I have this feature that I think is really interesting, and I want to see how I can work with it. So before you do the phonology, just think about what features of a language do you wish to see in the language you're creating. And just like make a little like list of all the things you want. And then you can start going into the language and adding these things or taking these things out as you go on. At least that's my general advice for conlanging. However, despite doing this for so many years, I've never actually been great at conlanging myself. It is a craft that takes a lot of work and a lot of second guessing, but it's fun. So I hope you also enjoy it. So I have a Mac, so I don't have the ability to type the Unicode things like Windows does, sadly. As that would be very useful. Oh no, I didn't want to open that. Well, you can see all the languages I have for keyboards, but no, I have a standard English keyboard. I would show you, but I don't have face cam. But what I do have is the US International, ABC Extended. So it's basically just the US keyboard, except when you hit Option, there's a whole bunch of other things you can do. So like I hit Option E, I get accent aigu. Option 6, and I get the chevron. And so there's a bunch of little stuff like that. Option Shift also gets me a bunch of options for a bunch of IPA characters. Not all of them, sadly. Like, there's no way to type theta with this. I have to go to a separate website and look that up myself. Which is quite sad. I think... Nope, doesn't have it here. But I found it quite useful. It also adds in these little guys. So yeah. I do have a Japanese keyboard as well, but that I don't really use with the computer. I use it while studying with my iPad, so. And again, I would show that, but no face cam. So if an event happens before or after another, one places the event as a relative clause before or ga ga he ga ha ga 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 ha or you ga ha. Ooh, oh, that's meant to be an O. I keep making that mistake. And place that into the main clause. So 52. I want to make that a bit. Actually, I just want to copy that. And then I'll just copy this sentence as I already have it oh so nice and handy. If it pastes with the correct formatting. Dust to dust, damn, I am good enough. Is all to rest. Okay, capitalize that. I don't think it is a virtual keyboard, actually. I think it's just the... I don't think it counts as a vertical keyboard. Because it's kind of like these things, where it just takes the map readout and interprets it slightly differently. But that's about it. Oh, shoot! I gotta make a short about my new dictionaries. I've completely forgotten about that. I should do that after this. Let's see. So, actually, I suppose I should hyphen that. So, sleep, rel, actually thinking about it, do I have... Because I can... More fonts. Allegre... There we go. Oh, but can I only do a section of it as... I can. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it works. I want... Wait, is it not actually making them as small caps? Oh, the betrayal. Google Docs small caps. Oh, the betrayal. That is quite annoying. So sleep, relative, before time. Comma. What was the translation I did again? It was the I ate an apple before falling asleep. I ate an apple before falling asleep. There we go. IVM apple PT eat. Okay, that's gonna be annoying. eat is a G. So sleep before time. So yeah, that looks good. It does mean that there can be some overlap with subordinate clauses. But some overlap in language is usually fine, even if it does annoy me at times. But so some overlap, but instead of it being a completely separate clause that has to come before the this this phrase can be set anywhere in the main clause. Or I could just and place it anywhere into the main clause. There we go. So subordinate clauses can only come before the main clause. But this thing, because it is a relative that modifies a word, a constituent, it can go anywhere within the clause. Wait, why did I put the comma there? Okay. I hate tab. Tab. I. VM. Sleep. Rel. Before time. Apple. Eat. There we go. So, yeah, this way of doing it gives the speakers some more flexibility with the placement of their relative time, or the event that happens relative to the main event. Well, this one is very strict and structured and can apply to other clauses aside from saying before and after. As you can see up here with the if clause. Which I think makes perfect sense to give precise time relation. Replace gaha, 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 gaha. I need to practice this myself. Gaha, ga, ga, ah, gaha, gaha. With the time phrase. So again, just going to grab this. I'm just going to reuse the same basic thing, but I will make a note. Add more diverse examples. Yeah, when I do the audio recordings for the villagers in the Minecraft resource pack, I really should get some native speakers of this, you're right. I just don't sound good at all for it. With the specific time phrase. So, yeah, let's do 5 minutes before falling asleep, as we've already done. If I can type, the minutes was a lot long. Five minutes. Then let's do a different time. I mean, the night. Yeah, let's do the night. Larha, larha, larha. There we go. Whenever I think about this kind of stuff, it just strains me mentally. Like when learning Japanese, for instance, doing the no toki, doing no toki or no koro. That just confuses me to no end, and so trying to create a system for that similar to that is painful, to say the least. But let's see. That is everything from this grammar page. That should be everything from this grammar page. Did I talk about... I'm pretty sure I talked about intention already. Did I throw that into the grammar doc? Okay. Oh, should I add a temporal suffix that could then be made into a... no, never mind. Here you go. The verb is intransitive. The alignment marker on the verb may change depending on if an action was intended or not. So using the passive instead, to show that the transitive action was intentional, place the agent marker on the agent and patient on the patient. To show if an action was unintentional, replace the patient marker with the indirect and the agent marker with the patient. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But now I want to add another little thing real quick up here is the voice marker can also be applied to non-morphosyntactic units, whether the unit stands alone or has its own particle, let's say. Do we have a word for in? Like in a house. We might not have a post position for in the house, which is probably a good time to make one and start thinking about those as well. House. Oh, there it is. What should I use for inside? I'm just gonna steal from Japanese. Ni. 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 There we go. Ni. Inside. Post position. No, I don't feel like stealing from Japanese anymore. Le. Le. Is there any just simple Liz? Probably doesn't even matter since it's gonna be a post position. Okay, so come back up here. Actually, go back down here. I want to grab this. No. I'll just grab the entire thing. So add one underneath. Let's Well, it only exists after verbs. Non-morpho. Let's look at the phonology. E. Just E. Sa-I. So this then becomes nga, agent, and this is non-morpho. So in this sentence, the subject isn't I, it's not the apple either. It is the entire phrase before 5 minutes before sleeping. That is the subject of the sentence. It is also kind of the topic of the sentence. So, and then probably want to show an example with a preposition, a postposition. So li, hunta, huntali. Huntalia. Yeah, just eating an apple again. I like apples. Who can blame me? Da. Okay, so oh, I just realized that's a bit far up there. And that is quite spread out more than I would like, but that's because of that, so. Okay, there we go. That looks better. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. So house in VM I agent. Yes, a formatting win. Because it's always a fight when you're trying to format Google documents. God, I hate Google Docs. Apple patient eat is there. In the house, I eat an apple. Okay, that looks... though, we are coming up on the end of the stream, which does mean I'll be shifting to the trying not to die as I answer your guys' questions about linguistics or just general life. Which, this is actually like 13 minutes before stream's over. This is actually a perfect stopping point for what I just did. Let's see. I finally managed to confront time relations. So I will just delete that. And now this grammar page is only for planning stuff to do, which is good. So this is just a planning page for how, when I think about grammatical stuff, that way I don't mess up with the formatting here. But I did time relations. I also expanded the subject from just the morphosyntactic. I want to join the LaTeX side. However, you can't really share documents like you can with Google Drive. And the whole reason I'm using Google Drive is so that people can, follow along with the thing. Truth be told, what I would want to use is numbers. The Apple Suite, as I quite like how that works. I have heard of Overleaf. However, I don't understand how it works exactly. So is it just like Google Drive, in that you can have a bunch of files like this that you can share a folder of, and then people can go in and see them? Can you do spreadsheets like you can with Google Sheets in Overleaf? That's the real question. But yeah, I think the conlanging will end here. if you have any sentences you would like me to use as practice for adding words and grammar to the language, leave them here. I'm also going to create ideas sheet, example sheet. So if people have ideas for the Conlang, feel free to leave them in this sheet. The share permissions are for people to come in and edit it without any problem. Or you can obviously go to the Conlang Discord network and leave suggestions there. However, with that, let me close that. It is once again time to watch me die as I watch me try not to die as I answer your guys' language questions. So I'll be right back. I need to grab my controller. I am back. Where's Steam? Oh, there it is. Just took a second to load. Library. Dead cells. Now, please work. Why'd you open up on that screen over there? There we go. Let me turn on. Okay, game sound is going. What do I find hard and easy about Japanese and Mandarin? Well, studying them at the same time is difficult. I'm taking a break from Mandarin as I learn Japanese. But something I found difficult about Mandarin, I'd say it'd be the adjectives for Mandarin. So what do I mean by that? I mean the so there are obviously the basic adjectives that you use to modify by adding the. I just sold an item. Great, off to a great start. So adding the to them. So what's an example of? So think of an adjective plus noun that uses the. There we go. So something like red apple. 小小的 yeah, so 小小的猫 called tiny cat. So that's fine. But then we get to those weird adjectives like nan and mu, male and female, which don't take the for whatever reason. And like no matter where you look, you just cannot find good descriptions of these words and how they work. So that's one pet peeve about Mandarin. The other thing I find hard are the tones. I don't know if you've noticed, but my tones suck. And for Japanese, I think what I find hardest, not the kanji, but the katakana. Katakana loan words are what I find hardest to understand. I also find the as I mentioned before, stuff like notoki, tokoro, those types of phrasal usages, tricky to wrap my head around. But yeah, that's what I find hard about those two languages. Next question. Here's a tip if you ever boil water. For damn, you got me hit. There goes my streak. If you ever... Oh my god. That's a bad joke. Do research languages effectively. Well, first off, I start with the Wikipedia page. I do a quick skim of that, write down general notes of what I see, and then I immediately, and this is imperative, immediately go to the sources and start looking through the sources as well. Seeing if they're reliable, how old they are, what they say. They're usually... The content of the Wikipedia page can be a bit iffy at times, but the sources can be quite useful. And then through those sources, you can usually find other things about a language that you can then look up and narrow down a scope of what you want to see. It's like with my history of Japanese and Korean video, I obviously started with the Korean mixed script page on Wikipedia. Look through that, take notes of what I see, and then I went to the sources, and I started reading a bunch of the sources, and that's how I actually noticed the trend of nationalistic thought behind the abandonment of Chinese characters in Korea. Is you see things like it improves literacy rates, but then you look and you see that literacy rate has already been on the upwards well beforehand, and it often coincided with the time that the North Korea was doing something that stopped South Korea, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's how you go about researching. That's how I go about researching. I also, luckily that since I'm in college, I have a lot of access to research databases, like JSTOR and whatnot, which, again, think about a language, you can look it up on there. Google Books, also, if you look up a language on Google Books, you can find a bunch of stuff there. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. You can set questions. Okay, so I will check out over... Ooh, do I want this? Okay, so it gets rid of my shield, so I do not want that. So I'll check out Overly. Maybe I'll finally start getting into law tech. Gonna lose a bet with a friend. But studying Mandarin and Japanese at the same time. Yeah, I've heard people struggle with that. I can definitely see it happening. I do it every now and then with when I see a word using kanji that I know in Chinese but I don't know in Japanese, I'll insert the Chinese word, but for some reason, if I already know the Japanese reading, I don't use the Chinese reading if it's Japanese and vice versa. I just don't mix languages for some reason, actually. Like, my mom thinks it's really weird. I think it's normal. But in all my time learning all my languages, I don't mix them up. I'll code switch when talking with my mother in German, but that's about it. So, yeah, there's that. The concurrent viewers went up to 8 and then went back up to 6. I'm wondering if they came here for the language, saw it wasn't the language anymore. Saw I wasn't doing language anymore and just dipped. But, okay, we have just hit the 1 hour mark. Should I do another round and answer more questions of y'all's, or should I end the stream here? If you want me to do another round and answer more questions, or if you want me, I can't really play any other game on here aside from Dead Cells. Another round. Your wish is my command. Let's see. The electric whip is good, but it's not great. Throwing knives are good, not great, but they'll have to do. So once again, feel free to ask away, and I'll try not to die. Oh, that deals such pitiful damage to the... Oh, that's painful. That is such painfully low damage. Oh ho ho ho. What are some real cursed Natlang features I have encountered? That is a hard question. Oh god, what are some real cursed... I think, yeah, the one I would go with are the German split verbs. That is the thing where it's like a little prefix that then gets left at the end of a sentence. That is cursed. And there's one other one. No, I know what it is. It's French liaison. French liaison is evil. That is cursed. That should just not... No, I shouldn't say it shouldn't be a thing. I love French liaison. It is one of the linguistic features I find most fascinating, but at the same time, that is cursed. It is a celebratory weekend. I am at 5,000 subscribers. After about a year and 2 months of YouTube, I am at 5K subs. Somehow. And so the 3-day stream are in celebration of that. Yesterday I streamed Dark Souls, Cat, and Protondium, I think were the only ones there. Today I streamed Herng with the obvious Q&A Dead Cells thing. And tomorrow I'm streaming Chants of Sennar, a game where you have to decipher conlangs and then translate between the conlangs themselves to get some goal. I don't know fully. All I know is I saw it and I was like, I am going to stream that when I hit 5K subs. This was like 2-3 weeks ago. No, not even 2. This was like a month and a half ago. And then all of a sudden, I found myself at 5K subs, so I'm doing that tomorrow. Let's see. For me, it's a German K system. What are some blessed Natling features I've found? I might get a bit of hate for this, but the Japanese counting system, it's cursed. I shouldn't say blessed. It's cursed. But there's just something about the native Japanese counting system that just tickles me so. And I think it's just the way that doubles will match each other. Like 3, 6, 4, and 8 just match each other so nicely. So if you don't know what I'm talking about there, it's 3 and 6 both start with an M, and 4 and 8 start with a Y sound. And I think that is blessed. Though I think I would classify it more as blurst, actually, thinking about it. So we'll go with blurst. For you, it's the German K system. The German K system is cursed with you. Agree to disagree. I think the German K system isn't very cursed. It's not very blessed either. It's just a K system. Oh, I love separable verbs in German. That is amusing. Something I found is that my mom, especially when she's like really tired, will throw her verbs to the end of the sentence in English. Which is weird, because she only recently started learning German with me. And she grew up in an area that spoke German in the US, but it was North Dakota German. So I don't believe it would have had the verb final V2 word order. But either way, it's something I've noticed she does when she's really tired, and nobody else ever hears it for some reason, so it just might be me going insane. It is the worst thing about French. And they never talk about it when you're learning it until it is too late to actually master it. Me, mu, yo, yeah, exactly. So, North Dakota German is, well, first of all, it's a mix depending on where you are, but where my mom stayed in the German side of my family, it is very Alsatian. It's a German dialect mostly spoken in France that is slowly dying out, but it didn't have B2 word order, I remember. It's a part of I can't remember off the top of my head which group it is, but it's a High German dialect spoken in Strasbourg. Like in the area of Germany and in France around Strasbourg. Okay, that guy's gonna try to come at me. He's not coming after me, that's amazing. Welcome to a unique language club. Except mine is born out of multiple disabilities. Oh, so many disabilities. Actually, my language ability, when I was born, I couldn't speak until I was 4. And I basically learned English as a second language. But even then, until much later, like middle school, I'd say, my English was nigh incomprehensible. It still is hard to understand, if you can tell, but my family used to jokingly say I had my own dialect of English. No, don't transform. Gain so many resistances when you transform, it's annoying. Got you. I'm really hoping for a shark Aha! Oh, the Japanese numeral thing also wrote with 1 and 2. P and 2, or P and 2. Oh, oh, that's not good. Yes, eat. Oh, yeah, no. I talk to myself I try to talk to myself in German sometimes, and it's not good. To say the least. Okay. Is this guy gonna... Okay, he didn't transform and try to kill me. That's good. But, yeah. It's hard talking to yourself in a language you do not speak natively. I should use this teleporter. Down here. God, I hate those guys. Oh, nope, not a good room. It's lore room. It's useless to me. Boring. Okay, let's... Ooh, food. I would like to put you in my stomach. Thank you. Now, let's see. Yeah, I gotta go back up the elevator. You guys finally run out of questions? Did someone text me? Oh, someone left a comment. How do you manage... What shows did you watch while learning English? Like, that is an impressive mixture. What's my next goal milestone for YouTube? 10K is my next milestone. Which I think every 5K up to a certain point is a good milestone, and then after a certain point, increasing it to a higher, rounder number. After 25K, I do 50K, so on and so forth. Okay, come on. Oh, nope, this is an item shop. It's not a weapon shop. Useless to me. What is my profile picture? My profile picture on my main channel and on my secondary channel is the IPA symbol for the schwa. The symbol my channel is named after. Which I'm pretty sure I've explained the story behind my username before. Okay, that's... Actually, in fact, I could do that while talking. Makes sense, yeah. Actually, I have a word. So, in American English, we have the word botch. So, like, that was a botch, as in that was a messed up job. We also have, botching it up, messing it up. But, and in, it's both a noun and a verb, but in British English, or the London English, that's a bodge. So instead of the voiceless post-alveolar or affective, it's the voice. Shit! It's the voice form instead. Did I survive that? So, I, for some reason, will voice the post-alveolar affective in the noun, bodge, but for the verb, I'll use the voiceless form to bodge. I'm the only person who does that, and I think it's because I only ever saw the botch as a noun from Tomska. From one of Tomska's videos. Damn it, from one of Tomska's videos. And so I learned the noun form from that, but the verb form I've been using my whole life. So yeah. And congratulations, Kat, you have gotten me killed. Oh, I just realized you're not moderator on this channel. I should add as moderator. There you go. You are now a moderator again. And with that, that round is over. So before I go, are there any other... Please don't. Are there any other questions about linguistics that people are interested in and that I might be able to answer? I'll give you guys a few seconds to think about that as I return to something I was trying to do before the stream today. Oh no, I don't want the dental anymore. I'll give 2 more minutes for any more questions as I work on my cursed mixture of French and German. Well, let's see. So that looks like a good combination. Oh, oh my god, that is... I love that you brought that up, because I got into a Reddit discussion with somebody about whether they are particles or not. Whether particles are cases or not. And I wouldn't classify them as cases. Personally, I wouldn't classify them as cases, as cases to me have a much tighter relationship to the morphology of the word itself than the postpositions do. To the point where you can have a adposition taking a certain case. Like, that's a perfect example of this is German. So in dem Haus versus in das Haus, the case there has a much is part of the noun itself. It is inseparable from the noun, while the preposition is separate. And this is, at least from what I've seen, a more indicative relationship of postpositions with nouns in Japanese. So let's switch to the Japanese keyboard. Ie, ni. This functions more to me as a separate part rather than as a part of the word. So that is a good point, because I've been arguing like case is an inflectional thing when it might not be. Case might just be classified as the role in a sentence the noun takes, in which case, yes, particles would in fact count as case. And I think they do somewhat in in certain languages, like Hungarian, for instance, but grammatical case. I suppose I should actually do some actual research into this and make a video on it. It's 2, modern English is 3. So it's counting Estonian, Finnish, and Hungarian as having cases, which I don't know much personally about these languages aside from the fact that they're agglutinative. So I should wa, there's actually interesting, as that isn't. So in Japanese grammar, we can actually look this up on the. So in Japanese grammar, the particles are split up into a bunch of things. So there are the case markers, and then there are the binding particles, which are both different type of particles. They have a different relationship they show. And while there is a binding particle, it doesn't show the noun's relation in a sentence. It instead shows a more... It instead indicates a higher reference point, so to speak. So cases indicate reference points in the sentence or phrasal level, clausal level, while binding particles, wa, mo, so on and so forth, show a higher level of reference. So wa obviously being a topic, mo being comparison between two sentences, so on and so forth. And so ha, also the from pa to ha, that happened everywhere. That had that. So you only found the particles after the nouns, and so there would be no cases of the particles taking the God, what's the word? I mean, you can see the same thing happening with a, the particle for a. This one here, which is spelled he. Let's look up where this also transitioned from pe to a. Pretty sure it did, at least. I remember it did. Am I misremembering this? Am I giving you guys faulty information? Am I a fraud? Yep, here we go. Pe, fe, he. Went a similar route as the pa, fa. Though why did this one become wa and this one be... I need to look into that, actually. Be, we, ye, he. I should look into that. Well, yeah, Japanese phonology. Does the phonology page... We have to go much deeper than just the... This... does this have a mention of it? No, it does not. Old Japanese. I should look through my... I have a book on Japanese phonology that I should look into. Oh, nope. Okay. Well, I will look into that. Try to figure out what's going on there. And that wasn't actually even the question you asked. The question you asked was prepositions and cases, which I'll also look into seeing if there's a stricter definition of case being not morphological but syntactical instead. But either way, your question has taken me 6 minutes to gloss over, so I think I will end the stream here for today. So, until next time, I will bid you all adieu. Oh, next stream's tomorrow, by the way, around the same time.